Back to the Zyori Podcast. It is February 9th, 2018, 10 o'clock a.m. here on Mountain Time. And boy, oh boy, it's an exciting day because we are back. It is Podcast Friday. Zyori Podcast coming up now. And then later today, there will be one of those rare, highly acclaimed What the Duck, Moonduck podcast. One of them things going to be coming out later. So a lot to look forward to on the Moonduck channel here today. But Trent, it has been a long time since we've sat down to take a chit chat. You've been on the other side of the globe. I've been on the other side of the globe. We've been doing all sorts of different stuff. What's up, buddy? What's going on?
We didn't high five in any Malaysian airport.
That's
even
true.
though we missed each other by like a day, I think. Because obviously I was hanging out with Team Secret, and they left my tournament to like travel into Kuala Lumpur to where you were going.
That's actually very true. We were both in Malaysia, so that makes sense. You were there for genting, and I was there for the grand opening of Battle Arena. I was just showing off this amazing... I got a coffee cup as swag, Trent, and made it back. It's actually pretty slick.
Hold on. Do you have it there?
Glossy black with beautiful
I see
red.
it now.
So I realized I didn't really read the talent instructions that clearly, and they said wear either black or red, and I thought, who the fuck wears red to an event? I've never seen talent wear like a red shirt. You look like a fucking waiter, you know?
True.
Well,
I've made that mistake. I still make that mistake. I have a red shirt I like, so suck it.
Well, there you go. Turns out I have a red shirt too, but I don't like it. I feel like it makes me look like a stop sign. But it turns out it was the colors of the venue, and everyone else was wearing it. I wore my green floral shirt with a navy blazer, which, no one said they didn't like it, but I definitely stood out as the black sheep in the crowd when it came to attire.
Great work.
But, that's how I roll. So how was genting, man? I actually didn't really watch that much of it. I have so much trouble inverting my sleep schedule just to watch an event these days. I just can't fucking do it. I'll watch the first couple hours before I fall asleep. Sometimes it'll be on in the morning when I wake up, but usually I've got shit to deal with, so I'll end up watching like maybe 5 hours.
It's okay. You wouldn't have seen this tournament anyway because it was on Facebook. So.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. I kind of forgot about that. It feels like that drama was so far away. Holy fuck. Wow. So what was that like on the ground? Obviously from a home.
Everyone keeps asking me that. I've had that question asked like 5 or 6 times. Like, what were you guys saying, man? Like, what was it like? It's like, I don't know. We didn't really care. I mean, in a sense, we were the least affected people, right?
Yeah.
Because we're just there. We're just all the guys who we're working with. They're just there. They are not the ESL people that made this decision. They're just there. We're just all a bunch of people we're shoving out this content. Where it goes doesn't really impact us very much. So we were just it was kind of weird to not be able to like open your phone and have like Twitch chat. Where like there was no feedback at all. Like we tried opening the Facebook stream on our laptops or phones and no one could get it to work. So we watched it a little bit with like the emotes going across the screen, but especially day one, like I cannot understate how bad day one was.
Yeah.
Like the stream was awful. I could not turn it on for more than 4 minutes at a time. Usually less, like 2 minutes, and it would go to a black screen and it would say like the video feed has died or something.
Yep.
They were not ready. Like Facebook was not prepared in the slightest, and that's what really killed that tournament. They fucked up so bad. If they had just prepared and made it so this was going to work, like it feels like they didn't test it at all. Like, if it was tested and that day one went fine, no one would have cared, honestly. Yes, people would still be upset it's not on Twitch. I get it. But if you just produced a perfect stream, it would have been fine. By the end of the tournament, they were getting big numbers. Things looked good. The numbers were fine because the content was fine because the quality was good. But my God, day one was a fucking shit show. That stream was worthless.
Yeah, it's definitely a multi-layered issue. It's a fucking onion of a shit sandwich where people are upset if it's off Twitch to begin with. But of all of the choices, Facebook is the bottom tier. And the answer to why is because they want your data. They're unapologetic about it. Facebook is one of few companies in the modern age that is pretty truly like, hey, yeah, you're right, bitch. We're taking your data. We're selling it to everybody. We're making billions of dollars because guess what? We're public now. You can see how much money we're making off your data. And there's a growing movement of people that are not okay with that, and they feel like the value add of Facebook is not there, and sometimes it's a decrease in the quality of life if you use Facebook every day, and they're monetizing all of your fucking content without paying you a goddamn thing. It's a shit equation for new agey millennials that are cable cutters and cable nevers that actually care about how their data is managed. So I get that.
Weird, though.
No counter argument to that when it comes to Facebook. You know, you're never going to get those people to use Facebook.
Yeah, but why do we hate that so much when we all use Google every 2 seconds? And it's the exact same thing.
I think
now,
it's
Google's
because
a major value add. Like, I need Google in my life. I am committed. We are married, Google and I. Like, you got my email, you got my calendar. I can't leave you. Facebook, I don't have that connection. I mean, I used that shit in high school and then my first year of university, and I said, why am I using Facebook? And I stopped using it like almost a decade ago at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I still use it, but it's awful. The quality of content goes down. Like, you know, I feel like every time I log in, I'm just getting more and more garbage and less content that I'm actually interested in. But the difference also is that Google has very, very vocal values, right? That's part of what makes Google such a weird company, is that they have this crazy culture and they have this feeling about them that you feel like they're the good guys. Whether they are or not is a different conversation depending on which side of the fence you land on. But their mission is generally to try to do good. I don't know what Facebook's mission statement is off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's to make fucking money. Like, that is Zuckerberg's mission statement, and that's why Facebook stock, if you look at its history, is up. It's like 150 a share or some shit right now. It opened at like 25. You know,
they have that good guy vibe. Not that they are really. I mean, they're just another corporation, but no one feels as gross using Google as they do using Facebook, even though they're both selling the same thing.
Yeah, it's true. Google is a little weird. I interviewed at Google once, and it was not. You have those moments where, do I even really want to fucking work here? And now you start to read some of the leaked memos about people in the offices identifying as like
a bit weird.
An amorphous structure, and I identify as a green-laden fairy or whatever. You know, it's just like, guys, come on. Is this what happens when you take really smart people and put them in an environment where they can do anything with an endless budget and dream big? They identify as a fucking plant or a goddamn moving house,
or they never finish Half-Life 3.
Yeah,
I'm things like that. Those environments.
Yeah. So anyway, it's tough. But one thing that we keep coming back to, Facebook has a lot of money, and that's what a lot of people talked about. I think conceptually our audience is open-minded to the idea of Twitch not being the only place where you watch tier 1 tournament and broadcast and esports content. And I get that. And I think part of the reason why this dialogue got so shitty is because the audience feel like they weren't being heard. And like, hey, guys, it's not just because, it's not Twitch, give me Twitch chat. It's because we fucking hate Facebook. We can't even watch the stream on Facebook. You tell me how to find it because you're saying I can watch it without logging in. And so far, I have not been able to make that happen. And I sure as fuck am not logging in. So fuck it, I'm not watching this tournament. You know, and that's why it got so hostile. It went from, guys, this kind of sucks, to, okay, you fucked this up, and now you're going to tell me it's my fault? Yeah, fuck you. You know, that is what ESL messed up the most in this entire thing. The goddamn PR. The way they presented it and communicated with the audience. They saved it, you know, because they came back and they really fell on the sword and said, guys, we're going to own up to it. We used bad judgment. We're sorry. Right. Please give us another chance. And that's something our audience fucking respects. That, you know, universally, that's a nice trait when people own up to their mistakes and try to pay penance and make up for it in the future, right? Because ultimately, fuck the now. It's all about where we're going. You know what I'm saying, Gretzky?
Yeah. I hear you. I don't know. But what was the other big issue? So the in-game viewership was crazy high because of it. So that was kind of funny. So
go Dota TV.
What was interesting, Dota TV viewership was crazy. It was like 70K or something for some of the games. It's like way higher than normal. But I don't know if you know, but at that event, I actually didn't panel the entire time.
I did notice
I was
that.
only caster.
Actually. So what happened there, pal? What was that by choice?
What happened was I was late. So because my flights all got delayed because of the snow and everything. So I wasn't there for day one. So on day one, they were discussing who was going to be on the panel. And I think I was set to be according to the schedule. And I think Red Eye was just like, oh, so he's not here yet. I've never paneled with him. Why don't we just move him to another day? Mm-hmm. And then so someone went to change that. And then Nahaz also said, I don't think that it should be me, Red Eye, and Nahaz on a panel. And I agree with that. I actually think that's true. I'm not flaming Nahaz or Red Eye at all for any of this. I think they were both correct in both decisions. And then what ended up happening was some of the ESL thought they were just saying, don't put Trent on the panel ever. So I got to cast the whole event. It was actually fantastic. I was very happy about it. Because, honestly, I'm fine. I like paneling. I have a good time paneling. I've done a lot of paneling lately, though.
Oh, yeah.
All of our tournaments, I panel the whole time. And our panels are very different to most esports panels, right?
Like, really? You mean
yeah,
Red Eye and
know
Nahaz have a different vibe than Zyori / Suns fan Trent?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. So, I'm kind of like, I still like doing those serious panels, and I can really get into that mood kind of a deal where I'm like intense analytics and stuff like that. But it was really fun to just cast. Like,
yeah,
kind of forgot how awesome casting is. Casting kind of kicks ass compared to paneling. It's very good. Plus, I was actually going through Dota TV, so I was still, getting to the people, even though the panel wasn't, I don't think. So there's that.
Okay, that's an interesting way to think about it. Like, for this particular event, casting was the prestigious job because
it really was.
It just had the most people paying attention. Like, if there's one thing that people, I don't care about any of this bullshit, I just want to see my favorite team play. That is the one place they can always guarantee they're going to get it. The Dota TV client. Wow. How beautifully poetic, Trent. That's great.
Yeah, it was. It was quite excellent. So, yeah, I just did my grind, my casting. I cast with Gods, OD, Cap. There was supposed to be a Trent Fog cast, but we couldn't make it work, sadly, because of the way the paneling was, or else someone would have had to work like 3 shifts that day or something, so we didn't end up doing it. But I was looking forward to that one, and so was Fogged. But, yeah, it was an excellent time.
Yeah.
Casting is always a prestigious job. I guess that is true. But it was extra prestigious this time.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting. And I can share the sentiment because I'm the same way. Usually at events, I always if we have control and I'm the host, I always try to cast at least one series. Everyone remembers the great Montreal. Hey guys, let me just cast one series real quick. Oh wait, that's the series that's going to be in the fucking Valve True Site. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
So, but I like being able to mix it up a little bit because I feel like it also helps me host and panel better when I have a tangible, like, I can remember the feeling of those hype moments. It helps maintain that energy because sometimes when you just sit on the panel, you're not moving, you're not animated, and you can get a little tired and a little bit dull. But coming up, buddy, I mean, the announcement has been made, so I can talk about it now. I'm casting a fucking major.
Yeah, what happened there? That was a shock.
Well,
Jesus.
Let me pull up the announcement actually, because now that I'm looking at it, I want to make sure everything's been announced. So let me. Of course, we're talking about the Bucharest major with PGL. Yep. MOONDUCK has been doing a lot of coverage for the DAC event that is upcoming also. But let's see, where is this talent announcement? Yeah, it is. So. All right, good. So I am listed as a caster, and Red Eye is hosting it. That's basically what happened there. I don't think there will really ever be an event that seriously says the lines out loud, well, maybe we should go with Zyori. I mean, he's available. I know we've got Red Eye on call, but, I mean, you think we should go with Zyori, right? That's way better than Red Eye. That conversation has never and never will happen. So, I like hosting. I think I'm pretty good, but when it comes to, competing with folks that have like real television credentials, what I would call true professionals, his full-time job is being a host. At least to my knowledge, my full-time job is more running MOONDUCK. So it's totally fair. But hey, man, I've cast a little. I casted a TI. I've cast a couple of majors remotely. Yeah. If you recall, I have been the on-call mercenary of like, hey, dude, we got the major coming. We've got too many group stage games. Do you want to cast it? Hell yeah, I want to cast it from my basement. And they're like, fuck yeah, dude, we just need somebody to show up and use those beautiful pipes. Those are the greatest jobs I have ever gotten in Dota because they always come like
100% agreed.
24 hours ahead of time. Hey, dude, can you just get us out of a bind? We realized we have too many games, not enough streams. We need you 20 hours from now. Here are the overlays. Are you good to wing it? Like, dude, that is in my job title. I am the king of winging it. This is what I'm talking about.
We get to do those MOONDUCK streams where we're just shit talking in between the games for a major tournament. You get paid more than every other remote gig. You're in your basement. You're in your robe. Those are the dream gigs. Those are so much better than getting invited to a tournament.
Sometimes, man, the travel is definitely wearing on me. I have to say, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be breaking off the rust. I start my DAC casting grind tomorrow. I'm doing the CIS qualifiers. Going to be casting with Jenkins. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, is that who you're doing it all with? That's
Yeah, I didn't
boy.
tell him that it's 3 best of 3s the first couple days. I just told him it's a bunch of games. So hopefully he's ready for a grind. But he seemed very excited. Last time we cast with Jenkins was the old Galaxy Battles 1.
Yeah.
In China.
OG.
So, yeah, I'm
all
pumped
right.
up.
Well, hit me up through the week if you need me. I think I should be mostly free.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. You know how it is. People get excited, but it's
Exactly.
a pretty intense little sesh. So I imagine there may be a little burnout. His sleep schedule is also totally inverted. I talk to him before he goes to bed at 9 a.m.
That's the NA pub player sleep schedule.
Yes.
That's what that is.
That's exactly what he said. He's like, dude, if I don't keep this schedule, I don't get the good pubs. Although yesterday he said he lost 14 games in a row. So that's pretty fucking brutal.
That's pretty impressive.
14. I don't know if I've ever actually gone on a streak that bad. 14 is...
No, I think I hit 11 once. Oh, I guess Dota Buff actually tracks it. If I'm not
I think my
mistaken.
best win streak is 10 or 11. I don't think I've won 14 either. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm with you. I think hosting is a little bit more natural to my skill set, but there is a certain level of stress that comes along with it. It's like knowing that you are basically the guy that is on call for like, hey guys, shit's hitting the fan. We're going to need you to go out there and do something and just have a conversation. Can you fill for 20 minutes? That's a lot of fun, and I've practiced that a lot, so I feel pretty comfortable with it. But there are times where that happens too much at one event or too many times at back-to-back events, and you have this feeling of like, y'all, I need a breather so I can replenish my fill material. You know, I can't talk about Bitcoin anymore. Literally nobody cares. You know, so you need some time to read some books, fucking see another part of the world, come up with some new anecdotal experiences to be able to share on those fill times. So I'm really pumped to go to Bucharest. I'm excited to cast and nail it. And dude,
yeah, I haven't even thought about that whole aspect though. We're gonna be chilling in Romania. I've never been. You have been for that hub,
dude.
That legendary, the last.
I love
hub
it.
Hosted by Too Good, right?
Yes, I have actually been to 2 events in Romania. The one you just described, and then we went to one of the Star Ladders was at Bucharest DreamHack. So we've been there twice. Romania is pretty cool. I like it. It's a little bit of a different culture. It's like Eastern Europe meets Western Europe all in one place. And you have this generation of older people that like don't really speak English, and they all have this look on their face of just like, get the fuck out of my way, you little bitch. And then there's this younger generation that are all, you know, I mean, Romania has a really wild history. You know, in the not too distant past, they were still under a dictatorship. I forget the guy's name because I'm awful with historical details. But, you know, they're a relatively young, free country and relatively new to the European Union. So it's a pretty cool place. The younger generation has a lot of opportunities. They're really plugged in. They've got really fast internet, pretty good infrastructure. And that's why companies like PGL exist, because this younger generation is able to come up and execute these really cool cutting-edge ideas. So it's a fun place. The food is pretty good. And they're not on the fucking Euro, Trent, so everything's really, 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 really cheap. You just have to get over that you can smoke literally anywhere and everyone's smoking indoors.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, Malaysia was like that too, though, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's even more intense. Like, you'll see cigarette ads in the airport. Like, there are no laws against cigarette advertising. You know, you can just smoke in your hotel room. There's ashtrays everywhere. It's a very heavy tobacco culture, which kind of rubs some people the wrong way. But I am a big fan. I have never not had fun in Romania. If you like strip clubs, it is also the place.
Well, you know me.
You'll see a lot of strip clubs
up my
there.
Alley.
I've never dared go into one. It's always freaked me out a little bit, but I like the idea of it. You know, I like the idea of freedom of expression, even though in practice it gives me the willies. Anyway.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun. And who's joining us? We have all the Moonduckers, and then in terms of...
And then Red Eye and Toby will be there.
Red Eye, Toby.
And then Capitalist and Jack is the official lineup. So, and then it is a Screpus event. And this, I actually didn't realize this. I just saw it in the announcement. But Malastrix is going to be there to be doing content alongside Slacks. He's I don't know if he still is. He was the editor-in-chief at Join Dota for a long time. You guys know him as Lord Cuxworth, if you're not sure the name Malastrix. But that's pretty cool. It's it's always like a little sad when you see Slacks at those events where it's just him, you know, and he doesn't have anybody to bounce his ideas off of, and he's running around like a madman. I like that PGL values the partnership there, that they can both contribute ideas, bounce off of each other, and it makes Slacks' life a little bit easier. I think at the very least it makes his job more fun.
I mean, you're definitely going to get better content that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about that. So, like, Genting, he was pretty damn lonely, like, kind of the whole time. So I tried to, like, all right, so when we did the group stage, you guys probably noticed that, obviously, when there's no crowd, for the first few days, we were all at a studio down in Kuala Lumpur. And then once those group stages were done, we all got in a shuttle, went up to, like, the mountain resort thing where all the players had been the whole time. And that's where the arena also was. They brought Slacks in a day before any of us even got there. And they sent him straight to the resort because obviously he's not going to do content down in the city during the studio thing. But he didn't do anything for the first, like, 5 days he was there.
Really?
Literally nothing.
Why?
Oh, the poor bastard.
That's
I
so
don't know.
strange.
They just brought him there.
So
and he just sat there.
So this isn't the first time this has happened, where Slacks has
all the time.
been brought to an event like that. It almost always happens in parts of the world where English is not the first language. And I think some of it is because, like, they have no frame of reference for what his job is. And if English isn't your first language, I can see why you wouldn't really get his humor or his beingness of just like, okay, so we just let him run around and then we play these videos on air. That's the arrangement. That's, you know, like the event I was just at in Malaysia, everyone had it. Like, they flew in Zyclops just to be the dedicated observer for Dota and PUBG, right? Like,
oh, really?
Zyclops was there just to be an observer. Danilee and I were literally just content. I mean, this was a pretty serious operation. So, can we digress into that, or do you still have genting stuff to talk about? Did I just interrupt the story? I can't.
No, I was done.
All right.
Just saying. Dude, that's what
so
happens to Slacks.
You have to see this fucking, oh yeah, the Slacks thing. All right, we'll go into Malaysia in a second. But yeah, I think it is a little bit of, it's just difficult to know what to do, right? They know what to tell talent. They know how to set parameters of expectation. With Slacks, it's just, how do we integrate this guy? They understand the popularity. They get, it's like yellow cars, man. I get that you get it, but I don't get it. It's exactly that same flow. Like, I see that you like yellow cars, and that makes me happy that you're happy, but I don't fucking want a yellow car. I don't understand why you like, I have literally zero desire to ever own a yellow car. But if it makes you happy, dude, more fucking power to you. Same thing with Slacks. They don't fucking get it, but they get that we get it, and that's enough for them. But that doesn't mean they understand how to implement it into their workflow or whatever else. And it's also, he's just him in Asia, he's this big hulking dude that is probably physically intimidating to some people.
You can't go anywhere with him either. Like, every day after, obviously I hung out with Slacks quite a bit because, you know, we're the only, like, moonfucks there. Everywhere we went, we couldn't walk like 10 feet without someone wanting a photo. Like,
yeah.
Also, the whole getting selfies with, like, everyone, they really like taking photos with people. Like, a lot. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. I feel like, if you had an NA land, do you think people would take as many selfies? Am I crazy? Are they more into selfies there? I feel like they are.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I would say, at least.
I think in North America and Europe, more commonly, I'm just doing signatures. You know, it's people asking me to sign posters, mouse pads, relatively normal things. Occasionally, somebody will want a picture. Usually, like, every event I've been to in, like, Germany or Europe, it's usually hey, my friend couldn't make it. Do you mind if we get a picture together so I can show it to him? That's usually the justification for why people want a selfie. Yeah. And it's like a 1 out of 20 type thing. When I'm in Asia, it is every other person wants a selfie. They don't give a shit about signatures. They're just coming up. They snap 3 blurry selfies and walk away. And you're like, all right, that was... One guy just took a picture of me. He said, hey, can I just take a picture of you? And the other caster said, oh, would you like me to take it so you can get in? And he said, no, I just want a picture of you. So, and then he tweeted it at me. It's just this awkward-ass picture of me standing there like, hey, it's me, Zyori. It's so weird. Why?
Nightmare last night.
What do you want to do with this, dude? Why you can find standalone pictures of me on the internet. This is... I digress. Wow. But so let's talk about this Malaysia thing a little bit.
Oh, well, speaking of, you mentioned Cyclops. He was actually at Genting.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he must have flown into. I don't think he was doing anything content-wise there.
He was just there.
But, yeah, he was there. He was at, like, the after party.
Cool.
At Cyclops. He was pretty pumped up. We played
Dude.
some Jenga together. It was great.
Cyclops is a fucking
Lovely
badass,
lad.
Okay,
He is.
So
Yeah.
he is one of those characters that you listen to him cast online, and I immediately think, all right, this is one of two avenues. This is either an amazing character, and this guy is so good at just ramping up and being ridiculous, or
He's like Slacks.
this is strikingly real, and this dude is a little bit off his rocker, and he just has no filter and literally does not give a shit. And I was very curious which one it is, and I guess it's a little bit of a combination because I don't want to sound like I'm talking shit, but I think it is definitely the latter. Cyclops on camera is kind of Cyclops off camera. He was super duper friendly, super excited. I asked him if we could take a picture together, and he was just like, "What? Are you kidding me? Hell yeah!" And then he gets his phone, he gets in there, he takes a picture. He's always wearing those like button-up Hawaiian shirts and slacks. He looks like a like a weird tourist, and it's like the coolest style I've ever fucking seen in my life. It's like casual cool. You know, it's like he's always at any point he could just walk into a club or go into a party. Like he's dressed for every occasion with this weird attire where he's got those casual dress shoes that I see a lot of Asian men wear, nice slacks, and then like a casual Hawaiian shirt with flowers on it that buttons up in the front. So it's like technically he's always wearing a collar, but still it's like just this comfortable, like, yeah, man, I'm just going to the beach. Just came from the beach.
He's a party animal.
It's awesome. He told me if I ever come to Thailand, we're going out. And I was like, I'm a little scared, but I think I'm in. This sounds cool.
All right. The Slack sub notification is scaring people.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to turn it off.
Turn off an OBS.
Oh, it's an OBS thing?
Yeah, isn't it? It would just be like labeled Streamlabs or whatever. I forget what he says. Doesn't he like yell something?
He talks about putting a bugle in his dog's anus.
Ah, perfect. I mean, that's a very typical move.
I literally don't know how to turn it off. I don't see.
It must be on the scene, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is, though.
I mean, how many do you have, dude? All we have is scrolling chat, a background, and 2 webcams.
Well, that's the thing. None of it's adding up, dude. None of them make sense to be it. Unless it's the Twitch chat, but I don't think that's it. That's not how this... All right, listen. All right, this isn't my...
all right, no one sub.
It's kind of my operation. Guys, this is important. No... Oh, maybe it's this. No, well,
look, Lyrical's even trying to help you out. The browser source. That's usually the type it is. That's what it should be. You know what it is? If Mott set it up, Mott never labels anything in OBS. By the way,
that is part of the problem we're having.
Don't ever let Mott touch your OBS. He makes a new scene, like a new thing in his scene, and he just goes ASDF, 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 and then his whole scene in OBS is just a bunch of ASDF, ASDF, ASDF over and over.
Literally everything is just labeled to be gibberish. So yeah, it's great. Okay, so anyhow, this arena in Malaysia, right? It's one of the coolest arenas literally I have ever seen. It's a combination of just a PC cafe. It's got like 130 computers. It's got a straight-up esports venue setup where there are 2 booths with 5 stations in it that are all wired perfectly. And it has not stadium, but it has audience seating where you can seat like up to 100 people for viewing. And then it has fucking streamer pods. So they've got extra beefy computers in sound isolated rooms with all glass walls where you can just rent a PC like with a mic, with a webcam, 2 monitors, OBS, everything like just set up, ready to go, and you can run a stream from there. And they've got like 15 of those. So they describe it, and they're upstairs. There's like a big viewing area. There's projectors and stuff everywhere. Like they have tables. They said it's more of like a club for gamers than it is like a LAN cafe. And they put a lot of money into this thing. It's in the upper floor of this really, really big mall in a nice area, kind of on the suburb of Kuala Lumpur. And Jesus, dude, like it was a really impressive setup. I had never seen. It was very clear that the people that paid for it were also gamers. You know?
They kind of knew what they were doing.
Yeah, well, it was just clear that, and I talked to them, and they said, they were like, dude, we created this place because we've spent 1,000 hours all playing PUBG together, and we wanted like to create a better experience for the people we know that would really like it. And you can tell when you're there, like just the layout and the sound quality, and it's all very well thought out. There's a whole giant casting desk. It's pretty neat, and they even have this promo where if you win a PUBG, they bring you a fucking chicken dinner. It has a full bar. And I don't know if they sell booze. Malaysia's a little weird about booze, but
I could eat there for life.
They sell Red Bulls. They sell like cooked food. It has a kitchen and everything. So like, Dude, they went in. They have a giant loot crate. They had cosplayers there. Somebody showed up in a full fucking ghillie suit. His sniper rifle looks so real. I was like, how are you allowed to walk around the mall with that thing, dude? Like this, it was a pretty legit grand opening. They had a full lion dance, you know, the for like Chinese New Year.
Oh yeah, with the big.
To me,
big
I don't know.
yeah,
I hope this doesn't sound offensive. I always called them dragons, but they call it lion dance.
I thought it was a dragon because it had like a big long, like it. You know what I mean? Like, because there's more people under it, and it's like a big tail. Is
yeah,
that what we're
it's like
talking
a
about?
translation. To us, we call that a dragon. They call it a lion.
Oh,
it's like a mystical lion.
Right, I gotcha. Kind of like the never-ending story lion, dragon, dog thing.
Falcor, yes, yes. But no, it was super hype, and honestly, it was one of the best events. And to be fair, it was a very small event, just one day. You know, I casted like 2 Dota matches and then 2 PUBG matches, but they took very good care of me. You know, they were very attentive. Anytime I was like, hey, do you think I could get a black coffee? Fucking black coffee shows up in 10 minutes. You know, they were ordering me food. They were just super friendly and attentive. And I ended up having another kind of shitty travel experience, Trent. I got stuck in Hong Kong. So you know that thing, if you were to just go online and book 2 completely separate tickets with a 3-hour layover in the middle, and then you miss that first flight, like the first flight is 3 hours delayed, so you miss the connection, and you show up and they go, well, sorry, bro, those tickets aren't connected, so as far as we're concerned, you know, you got to buy another one. You're fucked.
Yeah.
That kind of happened to me because it was Malaysia Airlines connecting with American Airlines, and my first flight from Kuala Lumpur to Hong Kong got delayed, so I missed my flight to LAX. And they got me a hotel in Hong Kong. They booked me a new flight. I mean, their agency booked it, so they kind of had to handle it. But still, they put me up. It ended up okay. Got to watch most of the Super Bowl from the Hong Kong airport. That was okay. That was a thing. Did you watch any of the Super Bowl?
I did. I went to a little Super Bowl party, just like family and stuff here.
Nice.
Excellent. Such a good Super Bowl.
Do you guys have Canadian casters for that?
No, we watch the American broadcast.
Okay.
So that we can watch the American commercials.
Ah.
Yes. So we do like I think a lot of people do this at Super Bowl parties, right? Where they have like a betting form. This is the real fun of the whole Super Bowl, is that like everyone puts in $10 and there's a bunch of stuff, or well, there's 20 of them that we do. So there's 20 questions, and then you put pick an answer for each one, and then you put what we call the I can't remember what it's like, the uncertainty or whatever, or like the likelihood kind of deal. So it's fuck, I almost have it. Confidence points. I got it. All right. So like the thing you're most confident about, you put 20, obviously, and then second most 19, and all the way down.
Okay.
And then whoever wins gets all the money except for $10. Whoever comes dead last gets their $10 back.
Okay. So that's cool. So it adds another layer of variance where it's not just about right or wrong, so it balances out for people that if I know I don't know this, then I can throw it in the dumper.
For example, I put 20 confidence that someone was going to kneel during the anthem, and no one did. I can't believe it. I'm so disappointed. I thought someone was going to do it. The fucking Super Bowl. After this year, no one kneeled. Oh, I was disappointed, to say the least.
Well,
bastards.
Well, Trent, I didn't get to do any gambling this year. It was unfortunate.
My 19 confidence interval was that Pink's hair would be white for the anthem, though, and I did get that correct.
Okay.
White/blonde. I mean, come on. So everyone else picked Pink. Like, have you guys seen Pink in the past decade?
Well, clearly not.
She doesn't do Pink anymore. Like,
yeah.
They were out of the loop. Like, jeez.
Well, I'm glad you're so up on the latest fashion trends of mid-2000s pop stars, because that's really, really high on the list these days.
Didn't win. I came third, I think.
Oh, so that's respectable.
If I had gotten that kneel, I would have won.
Okay. Well, I didn't get to watch the fourth quarter. I missed the best part of the game. The only part I really remember watching, I got to see Brady miss that fucking catch that they keep playing over and over, where it just rolls off his fingers. As soon as I saw it, I was like, if they lose, this is it. This is the thing they're gonna show.
Did you see the Eagles did almost the exact same play, and Foles caught it for a touchdown?
Yep, I didn't see it until I got back and landed, and then Mott showed it to me, and I was like, holy shit! I can't believe I missed it. Fuck.
I not gonna lie, we were all secretly hoping that Brady was gonna do it again. We all wanted the Eagles to win. Everyone there was like one guy cheering for the Pats. Yeah. But once Brady was down and he had that drive again, and you're like, dude, he can't do it again. Like, can this guy really do this? And he came damn close.
Yeah, dude.
Like, he's actually so fucking good. It's terrifying.
It's insane how good he is for how old he is. Like, I was talking to Carlo about it. Isn't he going to retire soon? It's just like, why? He's still so fucking good. There's no, unless he gets injured, there's no reason to. You know, like he's still that close from just winning another Super Bowl again. Fuck, dude. But did you see any of the Eagles celebration stuff? The guy that ate the horse shit? And
No.
Oh, my God, dude. So, you know, Philadelphia has a little bit of a reputation for being wild. All the memes are just like, no matter if the Eagles win or lose, Philly's getting burned to the ground. Of course, a lot of that's hyperbole, and it's a joke about the culture being very aggressive and YOLO. And with all those things, you know, people just fucking like to break stuff when they get excited. But there is this one dude. There's video of it. He's just like, guys, should I do it? And he kneels down and he eats a fucking horse turd. The best part is that he's like holding his scarf so it doesn't get into the poop. And I'm like, oh, well, keep the scarf safe. I mean, make sure that stays pristine because you're going to want to frame this. But I mean, forget about horse feces. And the people just jumping on the pavilion at the Ritz-Carlton, the whole thing just collapses. It's like, guys, it's not a trampoline. What are you fucking doing? You know, like they grease up all the poles because people climb all the street lights and knock the lights out and then throw bottles from the top and hurt people.
Right. They actually greased the poles?
They actually greased the poles. They did it for the playoffs. They sure as fuck did it for the Super Bowl, dog.
That is impressive. All right. Kudos to the Philadelphia. Like, whoever decided that, that's genius. Yeah. Right. Very nice. They needed that in Vancouver back when they rioted during the Stanley Cup.
There you go.
We've had our own riots. You know, we've done well. If Toronto ever wins the cup, that city is actually going to be burnt to the ground. There will be nothing left. It's like 70 years of anticipation at this point.
It's such a weird. It's just so strange. I don't know. You know, I got stuck in the Chicago airport as well on my way back. My connection went through Chicago instead of LAX to get back to Denver, and there is something about that airport. It might be the worst major airport in America. I'm sure there are some terrible, like, little shitty ones that have, like, one terminal. But for a major city, tier 1 airport, ORD is a shit sandwich. It's every single time I've been there. The people that work there are assholes. I don't know where I'm going. They're just like, well, sir, you're going to have to go down the hall. I'm like, what? Use words. Sir, you're going to have to go down to the end of the hall. Okay, which direction? And then they point, and it's just like, dude, put up a fucking sign, and I wouldn't have to ask you. You are standing in front of a security bay with people going through it, and now you're saying I can't go in here. Why? It makes no sense. And I talked to other people in the airport, and the guy walking onto the plane in front of me, they tried to get his bag, just like, oh, sir, we got to check that bag. And he was like, well, do I have to? And they didn't want to say no, but they didn't want to say yes, and they just tried to keep, like, pressuring him without saying that he had to check his bag. Yeah. And he just stood his fucking ground and was just like, I don't want to check it. No, I do not want to check my bag. And he walked on, and I was behind him. I was like, dude, they almost got you. He was like, dude, I fucking hate this airport. Every time I've been here, they have lost something or messed up my trip. Nobody's touching my fucking bag. I was like, someone else that feels my pain. Thank you. And I'm waiting for the day that I go there, and there's a really nice lady at the front desk that's like, sir, thank you. Here you go. Here's a food voucher. You have a great day. It is always the polar opposite. Oh, gee, sir, I don't know. Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really happy when they ended the connection from Halifax to Philadelphia, because that's how I felt going through Philly every single time. Fuck Philly.
I don't blame you.
I hated that airport. I will say the best part about Philly was the fact you had that train that went right downtown for like pennies. So whenever I had any sort of layover, I just went downtown in Philly, went got some food, walked around. It was nice. Fucking hate that airport. Fuck everyone who works there. They're all assholes. They treat you like cattle. Hate it. I've bitched about it before, and I will bitch about it again. I don't ever want to go back to that airport.
It's true. And because I'm from that area, I see it as
you
cultural.
Understand.
And I know that I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't disagree. But I know fundamentally those people are not hassling me. They just hate everything about their lives and being at the airport. So it's just, they're honest people, and that's why you can see how much they hate the airport. They hate it more than you do.
Can see it.
And they are telling you about it at every stop, you know? So it's a little different. At least I haven't lost as many bags at the Philly airport. You know, I haven't had as many ORD, I think literally like 75% of the flights I've been there have either been delayed because they're like, oh, we can't land, or they're delayed taking off. So they're like, oh, sorry, sir, we couldn't figure out how to get the peanuts out of the plane. And then, There's always some fucking issue. There's always like, oh no, sir, you're gonna have to go down to special security gate B. There's a special line there, and you have to walk all the way around. Like, what? I just walked 2 kilometers. Why? What is happening at this airport? And the worst part of when you connect from international, you just walk into the airport like a normal person. They have no expedited security of like, hey, I just got off a 16-hour flight. I've got a 2-hour connection, and I have to do customs. Is there a special line? No, sir. You just wait in the customs line, and then you go out, and then you just come back in the way everybody else does. Okay, well, do you guys have TSA pre-check? Nah, we don't have a TSA pre-check line open today. Well, what is that? So what do I do here? You're telling me 2 hours is not enough time to make a connection? I digress.
I don't know. Any airport where you have to go back out as if you're just arriving at the airport sucks.
Yes.
That's a painful experience.
Yes.
So what was your total delay then?
So the problem was that I was set to take like the last flight from Hong Kong to America. It was like the 8 p.m. flight. So there weren't any more going until the next morning. So once I missed that, I stayed in Hong Kong for like an extra 12 hours. And then like it added an extra 22 hours to my total itinerary, which was already 28 hours.
All right.
Like,
yeah, you got...
but at least I had a hotel. I watched the Super Bowl and Designated Survivor from my hotel room. I will say the Hong Kong airport is tier 1. It's huge. It is unbelievably big. And without anything being fucked up, both times I was in there, I walked like literally 3 kilometers from where I got off the plane to get to my next plane. And I took the most direct path. It is just a massive complex. But it's really, I like
the big glass walls. It looks really nice inside. And you can see like all around the harbor and everything. Big fan of Hong Kong. I only got to go there once, but I actually talked a lot about it in university because my professor, like I did geography and his big thing was shipping. So there's like, as you know, when you fly into Hong Kong, you can see all the shipping containers and the shipping everything. It's like a huge business there. So it was kind of cool to be able to see all that from just like inside the airport.
It's cool to fly over in general. You get an appreciation for how wild Hong Kong is as just like a cityscape. It's really, really impressive. So it ended up being okay. It broke up my trip so that I wasn't super jet lagged. My flight to ORD, I had 3 seats to myself, so I just laid down flat. This will sound a little racist, but the people behind me after the flight said, "Oh, you sleep so good." And I was like, "Well, thank you for noticing. That's a great, I guess that's a compliment. I don't know." Literally, you stand up and you can't walk yet because the doors aren't open. The people behind me are like, they asked what they were saying over the loudspeaker, and they said that your bag will be at baggage claim 19. And they said, "Oh, thank you. Oh, you sleep so good." And they said it just like that. You sleep so good. And like in a super mega Asian accent. I was like, well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're right. I did sleep so good.
I'm not going to be on What the Duck, so I'll have to tell my story here before I just never end up telling it, I guess. So you guys, how many? We got like 300 people here. You guys can all enjoy this. So I was also delayed on many of my flights. I ended up being delayed 12 hours each way. So mostly just because of snow. So that was the main issue. Just like for instance, when I left Halifax, we got to Newfoundland and we had to do a complete UE over the airport to go back because they couldn't land, and then we had to fly back to it later that night to still pick up those people before going to London. So it was bad. So anyway, I finally get to London. That all gets delayed because the connector, like the gate connecting to the plane, so there's a hole in the roof and it starts flooding, so they can't send anyone down the gate connector. So we have to wait another half hour, and then we finally get on the plane, and then I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, then there was problems in Heathrow, too, so I fall asleep on the plane, think I'm going to be in the air, and I wake back up, and we're still at the gate an hour later. So things were really bad. My flights were awful. So anyway, we finally get in the air, and I can't wait. It's like 15 hours to Malaysia. I have perfectly synced myself for sleep. It's the dream. I'm going to be on the exact schedule. I'm going to wake up proper time in Malaysia. I'm very proud of myself. So we're in the air. We're stabilized. Seatbelt sign goes off, and it's me, empty seat, and a pretty small woman, which is the dream, right? Because you don't have anyone huge who's just like blocking all the seats. You got the empty seat.
Who doesn't love a small woman?
Exactly. So she gets up. She heads to the back of the plane, going to the bathroom. So I'm like, all right, sweet. So now I'm going to use the bathroom, and I'm going to sleep. I get out. I go to the front of the plane to go to the bathroom. Get in the bathroom, shut the door, lock it, light comes on, start doing my business, and suddenly the door opens. And it's the girl sitting next to me, and I'm fully exposed. 100%, like, she's basically eye level with Trent. And so I just look like, oh, sorry. So turns out there's a giant fold in the door right down by the lock. And so the door was bent out. So even though the lock went over and the sign would have said, don't come in, and the light came on, the door was not actually locked. And so I inadvertently flashed my seat partner for 15 hours. So I come out of the bathroom, and she's standing there literally like this. She won't even look at me.
Wow.
Hands completely over her face. I go back to my seat, and we did not speak for 15 hours. So yeah, thank you. Hats off, everyone. Best flying experience.
My mind's a little blown right now. So, like, in my experience, it's basically impossible to turn on the light without locking the door, right? It's all one switch.
What happened was I locked it, but like the door was like touching at the top, touching at the bottom, but there was like a bend in the door, so the lock wasn't in the little slot, so everything looked fine.
Oh, dude. Holy fuck. So you actually
so fucking funny.
Ended up the person that you were sitting next to
me. Like, she even went to the back of the plane, but I guess it was full. So she came to the front and she opens the door.
Oh my God, dude. That's unbelievable. That is actually I don't know what I would do in that. I'd just be like
I laughed. I literally straight up laughed because I was like, what are the fucking chances?
I think I'd be like, oh man, this actually isn't new to me. I'm sorry to say, but
yeah.
Wow. Jesus, dude. Nice recovery, I guess. I mean, there's nothing you can do, I suppose, besides tell the flight attendant, like, you know that door's fucked, right? You know that you should put a sign on that thing that says, hey, make sure it's locked.
I don't feel that bad because there's still the giant red sign when it's locked. Like, it would have said locked. Who tries the door when it says occupied?
That's true. I always look at it on an airplane.
I don't get.
It's green or red. If it's red, you fucking wait. It's really that simple. You know, they try to dummy proof it for you so these things don't happen.
I don't know. But it's it was quite something.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that epic story, Trent. That was really that was a What the Duck level story time.
I know. That was the highlight of my trip. I'm sure I'll tell it on What the Duck at some point because I haven't told any of those guys yet. But
yeah, I mean, maybe we'll do What the Duck frequently enough that we'll remember that story next time and won't be.
Oh, there goes Slacks and his voiceover thing again.
I know. All right, I got to have a serious sit down with Mott. He needs to teach me the ways of disabling donations. I don't even know why it's on. Why would you want that? We've been casting on this computer. What, are you casting some qualifiers?
I think it must only be on during.
It must be. Right? I must have an old scene here that has it on.
Yeah, it's just in your scene somewhere.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I was looking. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, guys, you know, you live and you learn. I wonder how many podcasts have been ruined by anal bugling in the background.
We'll never know.
The world may never know because I just go back and rip these from YouTube. So whatever's on YouTube is what comes out in the official podcast. All right, Jesus. Well, Trent.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So I've got something I want to talk about here, and I know you're gonna be excited about this next topic, dude.
Goody.
So for the last couple months, I too have been working on a super secret side project that has finally come to fruition, right? So some of you guys know.
I heard about this.
Yes, right. Some of you guys know 3X Tacos, right? Our boy Carlo. He was there, one of the admins at Captain's Draft. He actually played in the show match. He was that guy that came out, and everyone said, "Oh, great, random guy." Well, Carlo actually has a degree in biomedical engineering, so he's got a pretty square head up on his shoulders. And we've gone down this rabbit hole of the supplement business. I took a page out of the Alex Jones book, and we went from like, hey, this would be a wild idea, to I wonder if we could get it manufactured, to let's design a label, to holy fuck, this is a real product and I'm holding it in my hand right now. And it was a pretty wild experience because for the last like 6 years or so, I've been working in the purely virtual ad space. You know, so every sale, everything we do, it's all, I don't want to say arbitrary because it's based on viewer metrics, but in a lot of ways, branding, it's worth as much as people think it's worth. You know, it's worth as much as I can convince somebody to pay for it. And that's sort of a weird, oddly non-organic style of like generating revenue for your company to come afloat. And some days it's awesome when it's like, you mean all I have to do is say go to betway.com and you'll give me money? That's really cool. And other days you're like, you know, I wish we could just make money selling fucking merchandise because at least it's like a physical thing with margins that I can track and push and advertise, and like it has a traditional nature to it, right? So that was kind of how we went down this rabbit hole. And as we started doing research about some of the ingredients, right, like ashwagandha is one of the biggest ones, we started thinking about like, well, we stumbled upon this study that talked about multitasking. I know I'm having a brain fart right now, but
just so excited.
It is really exciting because I never thought about it this way, right? Like we live in a world where multitasking is literally in our job description. And I used to pride myself on being like one of the, I'm like, I can multitask. I can listen to you and talk at the same time, right? I can look at the mini map and talk about what's happening on the screen at the same time. Hey, you do a little more research and you find out that's not really true. It just means your brain is working really, really, really fast trying to process two things at once, and that by nature kind of stresses you out. So as we went further down the rabbit hole, we asked the question, well, so that's cool, but sometimes in life you have to multitask. Like, what am I going to do? Say, you know what? Sorry, Moonduck, I'm no longer multitasking anymore, so I'm just going to take a break from casting. I don't want to run a company anymore. You know, it's too stressful. You don't have that option. So we went down the other way of what's the next best thing you can do, and you can supplement it. And there's actually a lot of research on a couple of different ingredients that level out your stress hormone of cortisol. And the more you read about it, the more you realize, holy shit, if you stare at a screen 12 hours a day, if you work out nonstop, if you're going through a divorce or just dealing with those normal stressors of life, you know, being stuck on an airplane for 16 hours, then having to broadcast in front of a big live audience, your cortisol is kind of fucked up. And once you start to level it out, you have a completely, it gives you that breakthrough feeling where you're like, dude, I can actually handle stress. I can process this without going, Trent, I'm really angry right now. And it's kind of an amazing feeling. I've been taking it during casting. We've been working on it for months, and we've been taking the individual ingredients in like less potent forms. And then we went and found the best versions of all of those ingredients, which, you know, the supplement industry is pretty wild about that. We tried multiple different versions of the same ingredient, and like the variance is insane. You know, some of them like, hey, this bottle's pretty cool, let's try it. Literally didn't do anything. You buy the one with the most generic white bottle that just says the you know, ingredient on it, and it actually works better than all the other ones because it's, you know, bioactive and processed right. So anyway, it's been this kind of crazy cycle doing a full product development, going from like, hey, this wouldn't it be cool if we could make a supplement to help multitasking, and then going through and slowly piecing it together and then getting to that point where you actually have it, and it's, you know, fucking tight. I am beyond excited, Trent. The words are not.
You're really in there, dude.
I really. Well, it's a lot to digest. You know.
Well, when does this go on the Moonduck sub?
Huh?
Or when does this go in the Moonduck store? Is that the
now that's a good question. I you know, maybe once I can convince the other Moonduckers to try taking it. Mott's been taking it. He really likes it. He said it's really good for like those overnight casts when you like have that feeling of cloudiness, like the kind of brain fog. You know, it's all it really does is give you that ability to deal with stress a little bit more easily. So it just lets your brain work a little bit more efficiently. And for something like casting, you don't have those moments where you get
explains so much about Mott.
Inhibited with your stress. Like, you know, when something goes wrong in the stream and then you have that feeling of, oh my God, fuck, the overlay's wrong. And or like you miss a first blood and then you miss another kill because you're so fucking mad about missing the first blood and being like, dude, I said I wasn't going to do it. It's not my fault. It helps you prevent getting into that mindset of tilt. So,
you're never going to get to cast in the Philippines. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yes, it would pass your drug test. It's actually, it is being currently evaluated to get certified by the main WADA. What is it? The BSCG or BCSG, whichever one it is. I don't know. It's like the main one where they test it for all the performance enhancers. So don't worry, it's not a performance enhancer, Trent. You'll pass your urine test.
Why would I take it if it's not enhancing my performance?
There you go. Well, you know, it's not an anabolic,
I got you.
Anabolic steroid or something. But no, it's pretty cool. We literally just launched it last night. I had a little issue with the website. I'm the web developer, so of course it was a smooth launch, as you can imagine. Yes. But everything is up and running now, and we've got it, you know, finally fucking out there. It feels like a weight lifted, you know, like with a launch like that. You just spend months looking at the same two web pages like, well, what if we move this? What if we just replaced this picture? Like, what if we just did this? And it feels like you've just been working on a painting in the garage for months, and you're just, every time you look at it, you feel like it's not done. That is an oddly stressful feeling, my friend.
Well, congratulations.
So
that's a big little project for you.
It really is. And guess what? There's going to be a bottle coming your way. You're on our promo list of free mailers. So get ready, pal. I'm going to hook you up with a free bottle. I
generally just eat broccoli, but, you know.
Well.
Fire away.
All right, bud. I'm expecting, there is a review from Mott on the website. So
really?
He is our first official esports commentator, multifocus extraordinaire.
Database error. Sick link, guys. Great work,
dude.
Kylo.
I bet the website's getting death hugged right now. Is
that what it is?
Great. Thanks, Twitch chat. Too many people clicked on it. All right. Well, I need to go reset the server. So that's great. That's a great way to end this podcast. Trent, it was so popular that
yes,
that it just crashed.
You must be sold out already.
Well, we bought a shitload of those. Yeah, Carlo just texted me and said it crashed the site. So, okay. Guys, check back that link in maybe a half an hour or so once I get to do the old router unplug, replug there.
How many people?
Maybe we'll spit. Well, I talked to Carlo about this last night. You have that thought when you launch a new thing like that. I'm like, now, listen, dude, we're good to go. The only thing that could fuck this up is if it gets posted on Reddit or like so many people like it and it just goes viral, like, it could crash. And he's like, well, let's just see how it goes. And here we are. So lesson learned on that one. That's good. That's real good. But anyway, it's been a fun little side project, and I'm excited that I can finally get it out there.
Sorry, I was reading funny comments.
Yeah. No, I will not be producing a panel quiz show to advertise my product. This is the panel quiz show advertising the product. So as you can see, it's a smashing success.
Yeah, but Slacks doesn't even do free ads for you. Like, geez, come on.
I asked him. I got about 3 words in, and I said, would you take our... And he said, no. I don't need to hear the rest. I am not taking anything that you have designed. I don't know if he knows that Carlo is highly educated in the realm, but either way, it's pretty fun. It's just cool to diversify, and get into like a physical thing where you can like, yeah, cool, there, here it is. Look, let me show it to you. Someone asks, well, what is Moonduck? It's like, well, it's this abstract, so how do you make money? Well, we sell advertisements to people that are looking for not really one-to-one marketing, but they really want brand awareness within the space, and it's always a convoluted explanation. This is what do you got here? It's a fucking supplement that helps you multitask. Sup, bitch? Mic dropped.
Supplements and crypto.
What you know about
what
ashwagandha?
A life you lead, dude.
Dude, speaking of the crypto, I bought a Litecoin miner. I just fucking sold it. Oh, I flipped that thing, dog. It feels really good to buy stuff on, like, utilize Craigslist in a way that works for you. That's a great feeling. You ever sell something and get a good deal on it? You never buy cheap and sell high?
You flipped the Litecoin miner?
I did. I bought it at a high. So I bought it in Litecoins, right? I bought it at a high when Litecoins were worth almost 300 a piece. So I bought it, held it for a little while, mined a few more Litecoins, and then sold it now that Litecoin is worth very little. So like it's worth like I sold it when Litecoin was worth 115.
Right, because they only sell it or buy it for Litecoin.
So I doubled the amount of Litecoins I have, and Litecoin has already gone up to 150 since I sold it at like 115. So assuming Litecoin doesn't tank, if it goes up to 200 again, woo, dog. And that is just, it felt real good. I'm a little salesman, Trent.
I wonder if I should buy a graphics card now that
crypto
crashed.
Right here, I am not killing PC gaming because Litecoin is not a graphics card fucking algorithm. It is a miner. It is a goddamn ASIC. It has literally nothing to do with graphics cards. You're going to want to talk to the Ethereum miners. Those are the guys.
Those are the guys that are screwing us all over.
I'm a Litecoin guy, all right? And I'm not touching your fucking graphics cards. So... I just want to get that out there and be very clear about my intentions with your graphics cards. Because I hear you. It's a shit sandwich, but no, I am.
Do you know what I experienced in Genting was 240 hertz or whatever, 240 frames monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still play on a 60. Yeah, I need to upgrade to the 144 at the very least, because that was pretty eye opening. I didn't realize how smooth it could look. Feels bad, man. Now it's hard to even just like play Dota on this computer.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt the same way about the ultra wide monitor. I stopped playing on it because I felt like I don't want to only be able to play on an ultra wide curved monitor. I don't want to go to events and be like, what the fuck is this thing? It's not curved. It's not ultra wide. I don't want to be Suns fan. That's like, I literally cannot play pubs unless it's 144 hertz because it's all.
Oh yeah, he like refuses. He just won't.
I mean, I get that it's better. I'm more just like, I don't care enough to want to make that shift. That is not I care more about pixel space than refresh rate. But I'm a weirdo. I
I'm
get
still
it
the
that
same
I'm
way
in the
with
minority.
mechanical keyboards. You guys want to? This keyboard was being thrown out by my brother. I don't even know how long ago. He like upgraded. This must be like 8 years old, 9 years old. This might be a 10-year-old keyboard. I don't know. Works great. I can't do it. Why would I? It's perfect. I love how low it is. It's so small. Like I don't like the angle that you get going.
I'm not that picky about gear. I'm not. Yeah. I'm whatever. When it comes to keyboards and shit, give me half an hour and I'll be used to it enough. Unless it's like some really weird layout or like the A key is missing. I think I can make it work.
So what else is going on this week? So we had all the DAC qualifiers. We did those for PGL. Geez, that came out of nowhere.
Oh, the website's back. That's good. So let's see if you guys can crash it again. I'll let you load it before I link it. One at a time, guys. Can we get a single file line in order here, please? Can we get a queue system? I think I need to put a cache on it. I think I'm overworking that poor little server. Sorry, I digress. What are you saying, Trent? I'm just so self-absorbed.
What was going on this week for? I know what was going on this week for Dota. What are the new Twitch term TOS?
So
do you know?
I actually don't. I have the mobile app on my phone, and it has been giving me a lot of notifications that I didn't sign up for about things changing. And I won't lie, so many have popped up. I've just clicked them off. Like, leave me the fuck alone. If anybody has a link in Twitch chat, I would love to peruse. Maybe you could drop the link there.
Oh, they didn't email it to me. I see. Oh, it's pretty long.
So, guidelines. Is it about normal streamers or is it more an esports related type thing? Because I feel like Twitch. You gotta remember the Twitch community is very diverse.
No self-destruction, no violence.
Okay, well, I think
no hateful conduct. I mean, this is all pretty standard stuff.
Okay, but it sounds like they're drawing more of a hard line. I think in the past, Twitch has always been like, no death. You're not allowed to do hard drugs on stream. Like you can't. There are the laundry list of pretty extreme things that make a lot of sense. But now with Twitch IRL, it like and other streams like that, it's pushed the envelope maybe more aggressively than Twitch had first expected when they wrote initial guidelines. So I think this is just another layer of clarifying, like, listen, guys, for real. This is like a cool opportunity. It's hard to write every single thing of like that you can't do, but stop fucking centering the camera on your tits. Am I paraphrasing poorly?
No, sounds good. I'm just looking... in terms of like their music, that would be the one thing I would be most curious about, right? Would be playing music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they ever going to be hard on that,
Well, so they're hard enough on that, I think, because remember, Twitch VODs get muted.
Yeah.
And that is one of the big things, and I think, I don't know this. This is just my guess of how I interpret it, but I think when it comes to that kind of music, right, the whole argument comes down of what is transformative enough. Right? So if you're saying I'm a commercial personality, I stream Dota, people come mostly for my gameplay or my commentary, but there is commercial music in the background, right? That's sort of in that realm of it's not exactly transformative, but you're not commercializing the music in the sense that people are coming to your stream to listen to the music. They would be there whether or not you're playing the music either way, and it's just kind of there as background noise. So yeah, muting the VODs is another insurance down that road of saying, well, sure, if you play it on stream, even if it's not transformative, this is a way that it can't be reproduced and people can just use this in lieu of listening to it on Spotify. So it's a weird gray area, but I would argue that Twitch does a pretty good job of forcing it in a situation where it's either transformative or it's blocked out. And those are kind of the two routes. So you're sort of covered. Yeah. It's not a perfect system, but there is no perfect system. Look at Facebook and YouTube. They have so many billions of pieces of content. Not all of it's policed. It's that is what we're dealing with in our modern age of how do we effectively handle this shit.
Not an easy solution, I suppose. I mean, I'm personally someone who would not be upset at all if you just couldn't broadcast music. That would not bother me in the slightest. I never really enjoy any streamer with music.
At this point, I would agree. personally
I'll put on my
speaking-
own music if I want music. Generally, I don't like other people's
Listen,
music.
Trent, one of my guilty pleasures in the broadcasting space is when there is a blowout 2-0 and then there's a series after, and I've got an hour to just do Zyori FM, put on my fucking sunglasses, and just role play as a DJ. That shit is so much fucking fun. Just playing obnoxious music and putting on the radio voice, and now we're going to flash back to the 80s with the soothing sounds of Steve Winwood's Higher Love. You know, and then you just cue up the fucking bongos and he starts playing. It's great. It's great. The audience loves it. I love it. I live vicariously through their pipelines, and it's just like a nice little way to entertain people. And, you know, that's not transformative. It gets muted on Twitch. I think that's a fair exchange. But it would be cool to be a radio DJ and be able to play whatever I want.
Maybe in the next life. Maybe you can start your own radio station with all the earnings that you're going to have soon.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So can't really react to Reddit anymore and are held responsible for their links and stuff in the description. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess I'll read them over, but
okay.
Doesn't really impact us by the sounds of it. No esports stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish I had read it coming into the podcast, but I don't have a strong opinion on.
Well, I tried to find it, but I guess they didn't email it to all the partners like I assumed they would.
I find it to be a little bit of a cyclical conversation, you know, and you're always jumping from side to side of, you know, is even saying titty streamer offensive? You know, should girls, like, what is the line? And, you know, well, at what point is that line repressive or it, huh?
Yeah. That's a difficult one.
But I just feel like
the line?
It's not that interesting. The line is don't be a fucking idiot and use good judgment. Okay? And that's not a blanket thing that's going to work for everybody. Not all of us were brought up with the same values and ability to assess the situation and say, hey, this is a really smart thing to do, or this is like, yeah, I probably shouldn't bend over and show everybody the thong and the clear leggings that I'm wearing. This is pretty transparent. Yeah, I shouldn't pretend these screwdrivers are a bunch of dildos. You know, like, some people have really bad judgment, and I think Twitch should just, I don't know. It gets hard to draw lines, and I guess that's really the difficult thing is where is the line? And then when you ban somebody who feels like they genuinely didn't know they were crossing the line because you didn't map it out, you get bad PR. And, you know, Twitch has to be cool. That's what this whole thing is. Twitch is fucking cool. That's why they've got Twitch after parties. So they don't want that. They're doing the opposite. They're trying to create opportunities for people to express themselves and get paid doing it. So it's a difficult thing to manage, but I think the discussion
how far they've come, like,
is pretty easy.
That whole idea of, like, only games. If you stream anything but not games, it's over. You know what I mean?
This isn't a fucking game. I don't know. This is all right.
Now we're IRL streams. I mean, this is a podcast. It's not even about Dota that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, can I tell you about something that I think of a lot, and not in the right context, but it brings me happiness? That clip of Grant at Dream League shitting on the custom game makers. Now, I think that rage was directed at the wrong audience there, but I wish he had said that exact same thing just about the group that we're talking about right now, because I think that's where that real argument is. You know, the custom game makers are kind of doing God's work. They're trying their best, putting in a lot of hours for a thing that just keeps fucking them. They just keep getting fucked over and over. I finally got this game fixed with all these new heroes, new patch. Fuck! You know, and that has been the life of these individuals for the last year. And I empathize with that, dude. I would be fucking furious too. But the way Grant said that shit was so on point to the right audience. Of just, you're sitting out there with your fucking Patreon begging for money and this whole, like, I see it on Instagram and Twitter every fucking day. You know, I follow some of these titty streamers just to see what they're doing, you know, just to get a feel for their feed and get some of that. And it's just, it seems so hollow and transparent to me. And it's weird that it works so well for so many people, you know?
I mean, it's that whole idea of, like, I'd say I love the doc, for example, but I am sure a large majority of his audience would be younger people, right? Impressionable, younger, like 12 to 14, 15, 16. And so that kind of shit is where some of that stuff gets dicey, like general attitudes. Like, for example, his whole recent controversy with the Asian accent shit and, like, all that stuff. It's like, obviously it's like, and the whole idea of, like, not taking morals from a streamer, obviously logically you should not take any sort of morality or judge your life based on how a streamer and all that kind of shit. Everyone knows that, but the problem is there's, like, the people who don't know that difference because they're not old enough. You know,
yeah,
anyway.
that is true.
That's where anyway, that all comes back to like obviously the whole idea of titty streamers and all that stuff. I'm sure the vast majority of that audience is exactly that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like those kids are like, oh, I can't get this on YouTube. Oh, what is this? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not something that I feel like I have a particularly interesting dialogue on.
I honestly don't care.
You know,
in the end.
it's just,
that's what...
it's not in our world, right? It's off our radar. Yeah. We make content that's weird and obnoxious, and we get nervous about how it'll be received for different reasons. But I mean, there aren't really that many females that are a part of Moonduck to begin with, and the ones that are pretty far away from what titty streamers are. You know, there's a lot of substance. It's just a.
I mean, all of Dota for the most part, honestly. Like, I'm sure, like, we know there's a couple in Dota, but overall,
not
I
really.
don't think
most of them
Dota
have switched to other games or realize the error in their ways and become normal people. Like Dota is just not the play. They don't hold the viewers. Our audience does not want to watch a cute girl very shittily play Dota. You know, like there are other games that are much more conducive for that. Like first-person shooters are a little more, it's like funny to see them get fucked up. Like it's funny to see somebody be really bad at aiming. Seeing somebody just get slaughtered in Dota is like, don't bother if you're not going to try. That's the feeling you get. But if you're playing Fortnite, it's like, well, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care if you try. I just want to laugh at your failures, you know?
I still haven't played Fortnite.
Me neither.
Seems all right.
I see people talking about it, but...
well... We're back. Where are we now? What time did we start this thing? An hour and a half ago?
We're like an hour 10, so we're pretty good. We're about ready to wrap it up.
I don't know what else I have in my life right now in terms of the Dota sphere. Still just getting ready for PGL.
Do you want to talk?
Not going to Katowice?
No, we're not. Do you want to talk about not a non-esports closer? I was listening to another podcast and heard something that really made me wonder.
Okay, all right.
So I need to verify this a little bit harder, but apparently, this whole... It's a gender thing, okay? So the basic digression, the new Bill Nye, are there two genders or are there infinite genders, right? That's really where this digression begins. So let me, maybe I can just find
talk about things I don't care about.
Well, on the list, so here you go. Just if you Google Sweden space hen, HEN, this is a new thing. It is their gender neutral pronoun that they use. So kids now, instead of being he or she, they just call all of them hen. Because it's a neutral pronoun that is like, it doesn't assign you anything. You're just a kid that's androgynous and you can pick or choose or whatever the fuck you want. It's like that ultimate, hey man, we're all neutral here. There's no he, she anymore. I don't really get it. I don't know, dude.
I so don't care, man. Let everyone do whatever the fuck they want to do. Why does anyone care about any of this shit? That's what really irritates me in the end. Why does anyone fucking care?
Well, so for this one, think about it this way, right? Imagine if you had a kid that you sent to school and the kid said, we call all of them hen. We don't use he, she's here. That's why it matters. It's not like you're a parent, you do whatever the fuck you want. I totally agree with that. But from a general policy, right? That's the way it's like, would you say it is potentially abusive to assign a he or she based on the genitalia of your child that comes out? Would you be okay with your kid going to a public school where they refuse to say he or she and only use a neutral pronoun?
This whole argument is the entire embodiment of why I fucking hate social media. No one gave a shit about any of this for the past 2,000 fucking years, but people need something to be angry about and something to discuss and something to... I just don't care. Like, I so don't care. Why do I have to fucking talk about this? This will never impact my life. Like, if I meet someone and they don't want to be called a certain thing, fuck it. I'm not going to call them that. Cool. That's great.
Well, no. So, but this, the discussion,
God, I hate all this shit
in
so
this
much.
Angle, it's interesting from the perspective of a kid, right? Think about like a 3-year-old. They're at a point where they don't have the capacity to really decide yet,
Jesus.
Do you side on the fence of you assume for them, or do you do the neutral thing?
I mean, they're not going to remember anything anyway. They're fucking 3.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
You can call them a T-Rex.
Call them the T-Rex? Okay, so you're a T-Rex household.
Sure, let's call them all T-Rexes. I so don't care.
All right.
All right.
They're
3. They don't know anything. What, they're 6 years old?
Well,
like,
all right, I picked 3.
I need some multifocus, Andrew. Get that profile over. My cortisone levels, or whatever the hell they are, they're out off the charts.
Off the charts. Well, I picked 3 as an arbitrary age. But I think you see, like, young, that point where you're a young kid, but you still are aware that, like, you understand pronouns on a basic level, at least, of, like, I call my mom she, I call my dad he, or whatever. It's just an interesting conundrum of, like, I'm just trying to think, if I were going to have a kid, would I call him or her that based on whatever gender from the classic description? Or is the future this kind of like, well, we're all neutral until we decide, so see you later, hen? I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could call my kid hen and not be like, what the fuck is going, what? Like, if you want to switch, that's cool.
Why don't I just call them by their name? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm into that too.
Why is this such an issue?
Oh,
That's what I don't get. Everyone's like,
well, yeah.
I so don't care.
All right. I respect
so
that.
far from caring.
That makes me feel less bad. Like, it's been upsetting me that I have heard that and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. Because I'm kind of like, that's it. I feel like that pushes it to school is where it gets pushed to another level,
I understand, I guess, what they're going for, but I don't know. It just feels like it's creating a problem when there isn't one. Like, if someone, I don't know. It's obviously a complicated problem, but in the end, is it something that needs to be discussed by every single person on planet Earth? I don't think so.
Probably not. I could agree with that. I mean, I find this stuff interesting because I think I'm like fairly obviously somewhere on the low end of that spectrum. I wouldn't describe myself as straight as an arrow if that's the conversation we're having, So, like, that is a weird quest of self-discovery, and our culture is very much like, you're either straight or you're gay. And, like, people aren't really wired. Some people are. Some people are totally straight. Some people are totally gay. But there are a lot of people that are sort of in the middle where you're like, well, I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's a spectrum.
I like girls, and, like, I don't know. I don't hate guys. Does that mean? And then people are like, well, if you don't hate guys, you're fucking gay, dude. And, like, our culture has been very weird about that up until a very recent point. And I think that's part of why we've gone full throttle the other way. We went from, dude, if you thought about a dick once, you're probably gay, to like, well, I don't know, everyone's in the middle, so you take your time to decide if you want to wear girls' clothes and makeup and wear men's boots, you go ahead, sweetie. And that's cool, but personally, with my anecdotal experience, I think it's a little bit more of an internal thing. And where I get interested is when that line gets drawn to, okay, we're talking about a public school policy that is saying that no one has a defined gender, basically. I think that's where it gets a little like, this is a me problem and a me journey to figure out, and I don't know that you calling me hen
and just one little hen
is making that journey any easier. That's the
thing.
Way,
like,
yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, in the end, I feel like that's not maybe the solution. I don't know. It's just like, I just hope everyone will be nice. Can't we all just be nice? Can't everyone just figure out their own way? And then, because the root of the problem is not calling someone the wrong thing. It's accepting what they want to be called. So I don't see how calling everyone a fucking hen at the start is going to change anything. Because all those people are still going to be just as angry. Like, you got to change all these views and all that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's hard. At some point, we made this shift in society from like, hey, dude, that's something you really got to figure out for yourself. And not in a mean way, just in a like, I can't tell you how straight you are. That's something you need to figure out yourself, to like, now, dude, if you assume my gender, that's fucked up. You're making me feel less good about me. And I think there's a middle ground of like, sometimes it's good to recognize it's a me problem. And this is something I got to deal with. It's a struggle. I won't say I never had any dark times feeling like, I don't know where I fit in on this spectrum. Fuck. And it's really frustrating and isolating at times. But if you're able to overcome that, you realize it doesn't really fucking matter. And I don't define myself based on my sexuality or if I like wearing thongs or underwear or whatever else. Who gives
I know
a shit?
you found yourself. You're
At the end of the day, it really doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? I am a person way beyond that. And I think it does people a travesty when they feel like they have to define themselves by their sexuality. Because I remember reading a blog when I was like 13 years old, just on the cusp of puberty, discovering things. And it was some really angry queer dude writing this blog at gay people saying, listen, your sexuality is and always will be the least interesting thing about you. So just shut the fuck up and do whatever it is that makes you happy. Like give up on this whole
that
like
sounds pretty good to me.
This and it's of course extreme, inventive. It was like a Tumblr post, but I thought that general sentiment of like, yeah, dude, that's true. Like understand yourself, fucking get out there, do what makes you happy, but ultimately, don't let it define you. Define yourself based on however you want to define yourself, not just this box of, well, I'm kind of genderqueer with a little polyamory twist of.
That's why it makes me so angry. Because
do you like the person?
Care.
Do they make you hard? Then fuck them and have some fun. Do we have to make it more complicated?
Or go that far? I was just thinking about playing some board games or something. But
well, that works.
All right,
that's true. So anyway, I needed to get that out there,
what
guys.
A terrible, just awful discussion to have.
Well,
it just.
We're obligated to have this discussion.
Yeah, it just sucks because it's like, why do we even have to have this fucking discussion? Why does anyone even care?
Yeah.
Who cares? I don't care what you want to be. I'd like, if you're cool, we'll hang out.
Like, I don't care in a good way. In like, it's a non-judgmental.
I don't fucking care.
Do your thing, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, what a nice positive way to round this out. So I'm gonna go take some multifocus.
Everyone just be yourself and be happy with that, and we'll be cool. How about that? That sound good, guys?
Be nice to yourself and be nice to others, huh? Isn't that a nice? That's hard to disagree with, huh?
Beautiful.
So, all right. I think that's where we wrap this thing up. Guys, that was a bundle of fun. I'm glad I got that shit out, so now we can do a What the Duck later, and we can talk about more Dota-related topics. So that's...
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's great. Thank you, Trent.
I saved What the Duck today, guys.
Trent is the unsung hero. He absorbed the blows. Oh, my. So this was a lot of fun, folks. Again, we'll have some links in the description, but if you want to check out the multifocus stuff we talked about before, I think there'll be another link coming in chat. We're super excited about it. It's a really cool product. We put a lot of time researching, testing, and trying out different things. So, if you want to check it out, there's even a science button. If you scroll down to the very bottom of that page, there's a link to the science page that shows all of like the journal articles and stuff that break down the different ingredients and how they work and, how they've been studied and that kind of shit. So,
and it's an hour and a half until What the Duck. Is that right?
I think so. It might be 2.5 hours. I think it's 2 my time.
Yeah, isn't that an hour and a half?
No, it's 11:30. Yeah, it's a 2.5 hours.
3 hour. Right.
We got
You're right.
2.5 hours. So What the Duck will be coming up next, folks, and then we're going to get this guy up on the podcast feed. So, Trent, until the next one, I'll see you, buddy.
I will prepare some great, angry social media issue talking points. It'll be great.
Yeah. We'll all look forward to that.
And I'm really happy with our new mock copy pasta. So thank you for making him put that review. I'm going to put that in every single time he casts. There's no question.
Oh, God, we created a monster. A good monster that is heralding good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My. All right, take care, folks.